Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to help you get the Zettelkasten of your dreams on your work table beside you. Well, yesterday I did a video on 3 different ways you can handle a card that's an orphan in your system. It's a new card, a main card, that doesn't seem to have any plausible parent. Well, today I'm going to go through yet one more. This one comes about from a comment by Julianne Scherer to yesterday's video. She said that what she's doing with her incubator box, based on my video from yesterday, is she's going to be creating the whole main card, all 4 sections, including the tagline, and then she'll leave it in the incubator box fully complete. Her idea being that maybe with that tagline there, it will do a better job, as she put it, of marketing itself to another card for a possible link. Well, I'm going to show you a variant of that idea. I've got a card set up over here, so come on over to the down-facing camera, and I'll show you a 4th possibility for what to do with an orphan card. See you over there. Okay, here's the card I'm going to play with. It's from Simon Sinek's book, Find Your Why, and he makes the point that intangibles get ignored in business because we don't explain, nurture, or measure them. And so my response to that was that identifying intangibles and stating them clearly is the first step in explaining, nurturing, and measuring them. And my tagline, the first one I came up with, was just kind of getting out of hand in terms of its length. So I shortened it a bit and came up with identify business intangibles so they can be measured. So I'm just going to white out that little tagline indicator and use this one to let myself know that this is the tagline I'm going to use. And now the challenge is I'd like to place this in my Zettelkasten. But if you have been following my podcasts for any length of time, you know that I did a minimalist series where I started a nice section on business with some reading that I have in mind to do, but I did not yet get that section carried over to my new Zettelkasten. So that means that this card is an absolute orphan in my current main Zettelkasten. So this is another case where I need to deal with an orphan card. I had it just sitting in my incubator box because I know that I've got a section on business and goal setting and things like that coming up. All I have to do is get the cards moved over from my little minimalist Zettelkasten that I created to show you folks how to get one off the ground, to bring it over to my main Zettelkasten. So I felt comfortable leaving it in my incubator box. Well, now I'm going to try a crazy approach that I don't think I would have ever have dreamt of without Julianne's suggestion. Now notice this card already fits Julianne's suggestion in that it's a complete main card. It has the information from the source, my reaction, it has a tagline, and it tells me where the information came from. So as far as that's concerned, the only thing it's missing is its card number. Pretty important, huh? Well, I'm going to do something here without the card number that might surprise you. Hang on tight. Here we go. Okay, we're going to take a little bit closer look at this card, and I've identified in the tagline the keywords that I want to index by. Identify business, intangibles, and measured. I'm going to white out this, as I mentioned. And now, the surprising thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to index this card. What? How can you index a card that doesn't have a card number? Ha ha ha, watch and see. Okay, here's my index card for business. It's long since been promoted to a keyword of its own. And while I've got these 2 entries from my new material that's going to be going into my Zettelkasten from the minimalist, they're not fleshed out yet, and definitely not enough fleshed out yet to connect this card. But I'm going to index it anyway. Okay, here's my index entry. Identify business intangibles so they can be measured. I don't have a card number, but I'm not letting that stop me. This is an experiment, mind you. I might be recording an episode in a couple of weeks saying whatever was I thinking, but I'm going to give it a try. Julianne is talking about this card being able to market itself to the world as, hey, you want to join me? Well, let's put it right into the marketplace then. Has no card number, but maybe the new card that I come along will be the perfect thing to pick up a connection between where we were, where we do have card number, and where we want to be, where this card could go. Say, for example, 5A. Realistic goals celebrated will fuel my business. Identifying business intangibles could be considered a goal. I'm going to hold fire with it right now because I know I've got more cards to come over. But when I bring those other cards over, it might just be that the card that's going to be 5A1 will want this one, will be the perfect parent for this one. See where I'm going with this? Okay, so likewise, I'm going to go through the other keywords in this tagline, and in each case, I'm going to put the full tagline down there with no card number and just let it percolate right in my Zettelkasten. Now, I'm going to make a separate section of my Zettelkasten for these guys that have been indexed already, because I'm going to want to be very, very careful when I get new cards coming in to find out, have I got a link for this guy yet? Because I don't think I'm going to want to leave these hanging for too long. Okay, let's pick up the keyword measured and see if we can pick up anything exciting there. You see, I could almost choose this as the parent. And if I didn't already know I have other cards coming, I probably wouldn't hesitate to use that card as the parent. Okay, I'm going to have to use my general letter M because I don't have the keyword measured as a separate card. So what I do in that case is I'm going to have to read through all of these cards that are general letter M to see if this would now be the third occurrence of the word measured. So you're going to have to give me a moment to do that. So, well, it turns out that the only other card on measure is this just previous entry, card 5A1, strive for ideals, don't measure by them. So I'm going to add my new card without a card number since it doesn't have one yet. Okay, there it is, added with no card number. We're going to see how this plays out. Well, in just exactly the same way, I would also work through identify and intangibles. I imagine there's a good chance that they're going to both be on the general letter I, we'll see, because that's all that remains to be done. There's almost as many I's as there were M's, and I'm going to have to search through to see if I now have my third copy of identify or my third copy of intangibles. Give me a moment. Okay, it turns out that this is the first use for either one of those keywords. Since they're both in the letter I get 2 for the price of 1. I'll make my index entry now. Okay, so I've got 2 entries underlined, identify and intangible. I've created my card, and I have no card number. Well, I might have a chance to actually test out this trial pretty easily because I do have those extra cards waiting to be added to my Zettelkasten, to the big guy. So maybe I'll get to that tomorrow. We'll see. And we might be able to have a resolution even by tomorrow to see how this experiment plays out when another card that might be better related comes into the Zettelkasten. So come on by tomorrow and we'll test this out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.